Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a topic that honestly should be front and center for any app developer: iOS accessibility. We're going to get to the bottom of why this isn't just some extra feature, but something that's absolutely core to building great software. So let's just start with a really direct question. Imagine you've spent months, maybe even years, pouring everything you've got into your app, only to find out that for millions of people, it's completely unusable. That's the reality we're talking about when accessibility gets ignored. Okay, so before we go any further, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What do we even mean when we say iOS accessibility? To put it simply, it's all the tools and frameworks that Apple gives you to make sure your app works for everyone. And I mean everyone. People with challenges related to sight, hearing, movement, or even just how they process information. The whole point is to tear down barriers in the digital world. All right, let's get into the why, because this is where you really start to see the difference between a good developer and a great one. If you think of this stuff as just an optional add-on, well, we're here to change that mindset. In fact, there are 4 huge, powerful reasons why this needs to be a non-negotiable part of how you build apps. Let's break them down one by one. First up, and this is the big one, it's about inclusivity. It's about building bridges, not walls. When you build an app, you have a choice. Are you building an exclusive club with a velvet rope? Or are you building a public park that's open and welcoming to absolutely everyone? It's about empowering every single user. Second, and you really can't ignore this one, there are serious, real-world consequences for getting this wrong. We're talking about legal requirements. Laws like the Americans with Disabilities Act here in the US and other rules around the globe, they aren't just suggestions. They're the law. Okay, number 3, and this is a total game changer. When you design for accessibility, you almost always end up with a better user experience for everybody. Seriously, think about it. High contrast colors, clear and simple labels, text that you can actually resize. These features don't just help some users, they make your app easier and more pleasant to use for every single person. And finally, let's talk business. Because this isn't just about doing the right thing, it's also about doing the smart thing. When you build accessible apps, you are opening your doors to a massive market. We're talking about millions of potential customers that, let's be honest, your competitors are probably ignoring. Now here's the really cool part. You are absolutely not expected to do this all on your own. Apple has packed a super powerful set of tools right into iOS to help you get this done. So let's take a quick peek inside this toolkit. You've got VoiceOver, which is basically a tour guide for your app's interface for users who can't see the screen. You've got dynamic type, which lets people choose the font size that's right for them. Then there's stuff like assistive touch for folks with motor challenges. Each one of these is a tool just waiting for you to use it to build something better. Okay, so that's the theory. But what does this actually look like in code? Let's get practical and look at a super simple example from, say, a shopping app. You know, it's kind of shocking how little it can take to make a massive difference. On the left, you've got a button that to a screen reader is basically a mystery. It might just say button. Useless, right? But look at the right. With just 2 simple lines of code, we've given that button a voice and a purpose. It's a night and day difference. And this is what a user with VoiceOver would actually hear. That simple change turns a frustrating dead end into a smooth, successful purchase. It's the difference between an app that feels broken and an app that just works for everyone. So all of this brings us to what I think is the single most important idea in this entire explainer. This isn't really about learning a few new lines of code. It's about a fundamental shift in how you think about your job. Here it is. This is the one thing I really want you to walk away with. Accessibility is not an extra feature. It's not a checkbox you tick off at the end. It's a core part of what it means to be a quality engineer. It belongs right up there with performance, security, and beautiful design. So we'll end on this. I want you to take this question back with you. Go look at the project you're working on right now and ask yourself honestly, is this app built for just some people or is it built for everyone? The answer to that question is going to tell you exactly what you need to do next.